The prime mover to close the schools in Cowbridge and to transfer the pupils to Lantwick Major was County Alderman Percy Smith of Lantwick Major. He was dead keen, obviously, to get for Lantwick Major a major school in the county. Now, rumblings of annoyance emanating from the county council were reaching us as time passed, and the press were proving more than very useful in fanning the flames of dissatisfaction in the Vale and far beyond. And typical of their early interest was the following news item in the South Wales Echo on Friday, July the 31st, 1970. It read, "Cowbridge raving man over school plan. More than 1,600 people have signed a petition opposing plans to reorganise schools in the Cowbridge area. The petition will be sent to the Welsh Office, opposing Glamorgan Education Committee's proposal to site a new comprehensive school at Lantwick Major, which would be used by Cowbridge pupils. The existing Cowbridge Boys Grammar School and Girls High School would merge to form a bilingual comprehensive school for the mid-Glamorgan area. And the 5-mile move to Lantwick Major is opposed in the petition, which urges the retention of the 2 Cowbridge schools in the comprehensive pattern." Then they went on to describe what was actually happening in Cowbridge. Well, the news of this petition filtered through to the Education Committee, and they commanded me, or they requested, the actual wording was, but it was more or less a command to a meeting of the Education Committee in Cardiff. Now, I had no idea when I attended the meeting of this nature, and there were no cordialities expressed or expected from the committee. It included the Director of Education and his staff. Without any preliminaries, I was asked what qualifications I possessed to enable me to criticise the committee's decisions. Now, they added that a comprehensive school in Cowbridge would be unable to sustain the advantages a large comprehensive in Lantwick Major would be capable of. Now, my reply was that I had observed the transition from large comprehensives in Leicestershire, where I was living previously, to much smaller community comprehensives, which were showing far better results in the longer term. My second point was that, being a parent with children of school age, I could not see the logic of transporting Cowbridge children 5 miles to a school in Lantwick Major and then transporting children from all over mid-Glamorgan into Cowbridge to a bilingual school, when it was considered that the schools were not suitable here for breadth of education in the first place, and the costs alone would be horrendous. Further, I pointed out there would be no sporting or related social life for school children who at the end of the day would be 5 miles away from school facilities. Well, their next question was about the petition. They had heard that it was approaching 2,000 signatures, and I advised them that it would undoubtedly grow by the time it was presented to the Welsh Office. And I received a very definite impression that this was the main reason for requesting my presence at this meeting. Well, this was more or less the end of the Inquisition. There were many other things that we were doing at the same time. I was in touch with the Welsh Office and the MP. We had written, my wife and I had written to various influential people to add their little bit in to the opposition to this effort. So we went on from that, if I may for a moment. Just mention the press. The press, right from the beginning, sensed that this was a very emotive subject, and it could be a running newsworthy item. The press liked things like this. And they kept in touch with my wife and I virtually every week, and sometimes even more often than that. And I really believe they played a very significant role in the exercise. They would access the education meetings and reported on things that were happening there. And so this then help to worry members of the Education Committee? Well, as I say, the press had a very large hand in all this, and they asked me to write several articles for them, which appeared in the local newspapers, and at that time the Lantress and Observer and Glamorgan County Times was one of the leading newspapers, and they got me to write a huge effort which I won't go into right at this time. But in the Western Mail of the 22nd of September 1971, the Western Mail published this under its legal notices. Glamorgan Local Education Authority. Notice is hereby given to cease to maintain the Cowbridge Boys Grammar School in the borough of Cowbridge and the Cowbridge Girls Grammar School in the rural district of Cowbridge. Secondly, to establish a mixed comprehensive school for about 1,200 pupils, mainly of 11 to 18 years at Cowbridge in the borough and rural district of Cowbridge, and the school would serve the catchment areas of the primary schools at Cowbridge, Colwinston, Maindy, Llanfair, Llanheren, Brynner, Llangan, Llansanna, Pendoilen and Llanharry. And the notice then proceeded with the full details. So, from a small beginning, we had a satisfactory result at the end. It was 2 years hard work, but it was well worth it for the future of schooling in Cowbridge. Thank you.
Thank you.